Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to A Couple More Minutes podcast, where two veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation and video games. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeff Gabor, and alongside me, as always, is...
Pete Paquette.
Pete Paquette, that's right. Well, here we are again. This is not one of our quantum insurance episodes. This is one of our shoot the shit episodes, where we just talk about whatever we're got on our mind. And in this week, we're going to talk about a couple games we've been playing.
Yep.
Silksong, and Nintendo's Donkey Kong Bananza. But before we get to that, let's do our animation tip. So this is a different kind of one in terms of like, it's more about workflow and more specific to Maya. I find that animating to a perspective camera, this is especially for shots that are going to possibly be seen from multiple views, or it's video game animation, that the perspective can kind of mess your perception of like the ups and downs or how clear your poses are. Because basically, if you zoom too far in, you can get like a little fisheye, or you're just not able to see the entire body at the same time because of, again, perspective. So that's what a good orthographic camera is for, right? So your front and your side. So we all know we got those options. But what about like the 3/4 or like rotating, just trying to get something in the middle? Well, you can actually do that in Maya pretty easily, and it's something that I do regularly, is making sure I can actually tumble around using my orthographic views. It's pretty easy in Maya. You basically just go up to your view, you go down to your camera tools, then you go to your tumble tools, and there's a little checkbox for locked. By default, it's locked. Now, the best thing you can do, at least in my opinion, is that you uncheck it, but you actually make sure you can actually put it on stepped. And I like to do rotations of 15 degrees. This makes it it's pretty large degrees, but they're also like kind of those key angles that make it nice to your character to look at, but also lets you snap exactly back to these 90-degree views. So say you're at like the front view and you like rotate, like twisting kind of in Y. You then snap to 15 to 30 to 45 to 60 to 75 and then back to 90. And it'll do those nice little snaps for you. And you get to quickly see how your character looks in those different views. Personally, for me, it helps a ton in terms of just like getting rid of some of that perspective distortion when animating, and it helps speed things up and helps me understand what is going wrong when things are going wrong, or maybe there's a hitch, maybe the ups and downs I'm trying to like really nail down, and being able to have a nice orthographic camera helps me isolate those movements just a little easier.
I don't know, man. You're a wacky mad scientist with your workflow sometimes. sometimes. But
I've been doing that for a long time, so I've gotten used to doing that, and I really like working with orthographic cameras. It also used to help a lot when I was doing modeling. I never was a modeler, but back when I was a character lead, we would have to do facial expressions or do drawovers for the rigging department, and it can be very hard to perfectly tell them how the smile is going to go or how you want this shape to be when you don't know if their camera is perfectly matching up with your camera. Well, we would always do our drawovers and, screen grabs at these degrees, usually like 30 degrees. And so they can easily reproduce the camera and you can easily draw it without a perspective distortion. And then it makes the communication between the two departments very, very, very easy because everybody can reproduce the same views over and over again. So there's that too.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well,
Not
that was
too
the
bad
animation
if I
tip.
say so myself.
Yes, I do. My tips are the best. All right, Pete. before we get on to Silksong and whatnot, we usually don't do news in our Shoot the Shit episodes, but there's been some rather sad but big news, in terms of the world of retro video games. And that is we lost one of our game chasers.
Yeah, the Game Chasers is a team of friends that have known each other for many, many years, and they had a YouTube show where they traveled the world. They did go overseas once, I think. So, searching for retro video games.
Yeah, rescuing them from the dustbins of whatever history, something like that.
Yeah.
But man, I credit them a lot to really like amping up my desire to game chase, and they like epitomize the like that feeling of like finding a rare game in just a pawn shop or at a flea market. And when they started this a long time ago, so when they started it, it was reasonable that you could find something super rare
For cheap.
Yeah, cheap. And then they came up with that phrase that everybody still uses when game chasing, the caught them slipping thing. Meaning like that's their phrase for either you pick up a game that somebody overlooked and it was like a great find, or you go to a pawn shop or a retro video game store and they have it mislabeled at a very like reduced price, so you catch them slipping. And their humor is just like, it's just stupid guy humor, and it's great.
Guy humor.
Yeah. And it mainly stars Billy and Jay, and it hasn't even been a month, right since Billy found out he had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And he passed away.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
Like life is too short, man.
I think that's the real takeaway, is just how fragile life is. And man, he did a post 3 weeks ago kind of talking about him announcing that he had a brain tumor, and it is crushing.
Yeah.
Because did you watch that, Pete?
I did. It was hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know if you came away with the same thing, but he seemed frightened. And that's the thing that like that caught me more than anything, because he wasn't ready for this, and so he's trying to tell his audience and the people that care about him what's going on, and he says he's gonna run through this and run out of it, not walk out of it. Obviously he didn't know his time was even more limited than anybody could think. It's awful.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And I don't know, have you watched any of the game chasers in the last couple of years?
Not recently. I met them back at the Connecticut convention. Years ago.
Yeah, we were there. That was cool.
And I got them to sign some DVDs of theirs, and they were both really nice guys.
I know, man. I wish I would have done it, because I was so nervous. So I think I only went up to Pat Contry, but I couldn't bring myself to talk to the chasers.
Yeah, you went up to Pat Contry because I went up with you.
Yep.
I should have made you come with me to the chasers.
Man, they're just such funny and great guys.
Yep.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, Billy, when you start the Game Chasers, when you see those first episodes, he looks entirely different than he does now. He took his health under control. He is like fit. He started a family. He's got a young kid or kids. I'm not sure. And it was like, wow, he really is trying to make the most out of his health. And then he gets just struck down by something that he had no control over. And it just goes to show you, just life is certainly got a factor of rolling the dice as well,
Yeah, and you gotta hug your loved ones.
And I haven't. I was thinking, since Blue Sky, really haven't had any one of my super super close friends pass away yet. I really don't want to see that happen. I mean, we had some blue skyers pass away, which was awful. But yeah, I can only imagine like how Jay feels right now, and all those people that like went chasing with him on a regular basis.
He made a post on Facebook. This is from Jay. Hey guys, it's with a heavy heart and tear-filled eyes that I have to make this post. This afternoon, Billy lost his fight with cancer. A video is being made this weekend with more details. Please don't ask for additional information. Also, keep in mind that this just happened and the family, YouTube family included, is in a grieving process. I know there are a lot of questions. Please let us have a moment and not slam people you know were his friends with questions, me included. We are getting a ton of messages, calls, texts, and it's overwhelming. Billy loves each and every one of you and appreciates the love and support you've given him. Post a pic you might have of him, or post a pic you might have with him. Change your profile pic, share a memory down below. Thank you for understanding, Jay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely. I also credit them a lot with really highlighting the game Little Samson.
Yep.
I had heard of it, but I hadn't realized just how big the lore was, and it must have been their second or third episode where Billy found a copy of Little Samson at just like
some flea market.
Yeah.
Some dirt flea market.
Yeah. He caught Jay slipping, and he picked it up, and it was just talked about over and over again. And it made me have this like overwhelming desire to like someday have my own Little Samson story. And to that, I do now.
Yes, you do.
I have my own Little Samson story. So I've been on the hunt for it for a long time. Obviously, but the price kept going up. There was probably about 10 years ago, I saw it for, I think it was priced at $850, but the store ended up selling it for like $700. And I passed it up because I was like, I'm not going to spend, nearly $1,000 on a Nintendo game. Now a year or two ago, it skyrocketed to $2,000. And then this year I went I guess it's been 2 weeks now. The Hartford Convention, Retro World Games Expo was again there, and people were selling it for $3,000. There was one copy for $3,000, another copy for $3,300, and I was like, man, it just is never going to happen. It just keeps going up instead of down. I actually, about a year ago, I said, dang it, man, I'm going to try, and I bid on a handful of them for $2,000 because I was like, it's never going to get below $2,000. So if I can get it for $2,000, I'll feel good about it. And I lost every single time because it goes for way more than that on every single auction. So flash forward to this event called S.T.S Fest. Now, S.T.S Fest is a group of retro video game, mainly Nintendo streamers, and they all get together around this Hartford convention. They rent out a hotel suite, and they spend the entire time of this convention, Thursday, Friday, Saturday through Sunday, trying to beat as many Nintendo games as possible. They stream it. It's not like a speed running thing. It's just they set up one main area and stream it, and then there's about 4 or 5 other consoles in the background, and as you beat the game, you just tick it off the list. I think they beat nearly 200 games this year. It's insane. And it's like some of the fastest speedrunners and streamers of these games around in the whole world. Like, I mean, people came from Sweden to do this. So it was cool seeing all those people. I ended up showing up and saying hello to them. And to support this, one of the guys, he goes by his Twitch handle of he who has no life. Well, he was like, I want to support this. And so he brought a couple games, and specifically, he brought a copy of Little Samson. And he said, "You know what? I'm going to support this and put this up for a raffle." And so it was like, all right, everybody can buy a few tickets for 20, a raffle ticket for $20. Five is your limit. And I was like freaking out because I only showed up the first day, and then they were going to do this raffle the last day. And I'm like texting everybody there. I'm like, "Can I please join the raffle? Can I please join the raffle?" And they're like, one, it was so kind because they're like, "You can, but you can only buy 3 tickets because people already thought of you and bought tickets for you." And I was like, that is so nice. That's awesome. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and pay it forward because that was a nice thing for people to do. So even though I bought only 3 extra tickets, I gave them the full $100 for the 5. So 5 times 20, $100. And then I was like, man, I wonder if anybody's not joining the raffle and I can pay for their tickets. And I tried to contact a couple people, and they said, maybe we can buy like 1 or 2 or whatever. I was like, oh, that's super awesome. So I threw in another like $40. So my odds were still super low. But the next morning, this wheel spun, and they had several other prizes, and I won the first like 2. So I won this like awesome piece of artwork by this guy named TVS Chaser. He's another streamer. And then this girl named Mrs. Beta X had this like crocheted Nestfest sign. I was like, sweet, I feel good. I already won 2 things. Like, those are super awesome. And then the wheel spun, and it landed on this guy named Beta X Complainer, which is the husband of that Mrs. Beta X. So I was all happy for him. I clapped for him, and everybody's like, super happy because he just, for $20, he just won a $3,000 Nintendo game. And I would say it was 30 seconds later, I get a text saying, "I'll trade you the cart for that piece of artwork, the piece of wood artwork." And I was like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" They're like, "It means more to you than it means to me." And they traded and gave me the Little Samson. I cannot believe it. I actually have it sitting right behind me right now.
You need to open an insurance policy, man.
Seriously, man. Especially the games that are now sitting on the shelf. Like, I hit a watershed moment where finally, and this seems absurd, I have now only 31 games left to get out of whatever 687 whatever officially licensed games there are. So I finally hit the moment where my collection is actually worth more than what I have remaining. Now that seems insane. Wow. That seems insane. Wait, I have. Let's see, what is the number? The exact number of what I have and what I have left. Let's see here. So my collection, I have 648 Nintendo games. And what I have left is 31, and they are almost worth the exact same. The 648 all combined is about the same price as what I have left. Those last 30 games cost so much.
Well, that stadium events.
Yeah, so that's not really fair. I will say that. You're right. Like, the vast majority of that is one single game. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna help you out, Mr. Gobor. I got 8 games that you don't have.
That is insane.
That I'm actually gonna sell or trade Nintendo games away, which is something I never do.
You never do. I'm gonna try to make you something special, and see if you can help me out. And man, that would be super cool because those games are so hard to find. Just to get that, just to
I got them on my desk. Let's see, we got the Incredible Crash Dummies, Race America, which is actually worth more than I was expecting. Goal 2, Hatris, Crash and the Boys, Scoon, Gunnack, and the Namco Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, that's a good collection, man. I actually just arranged my entire shelf today to like have all the games and then actually have a sleeve where all the missing games are. So it's like I can actually like view what the whole collection actually looks like. It's so cool. So
That's
now
pretty cool.
I can just slot in the remaining games. That
You
would
should
feel
take a
so
picture.
good.
Send it
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I'll do that. It's almost there, man. So, and man, that all that like goes out to like Billy and Jay for like, inspiring that kind of like fun and the collecting and the just how great it is and kind of friendships you build with it and going to these conventions and yeah, man, it just sucks that Billy's no longer here with us and it just happened so dang fast.
Yeah, I know. What
Yeah,
was it? 3 weeks?
3 weeks, man. 3 weeks. It's just
Yeah.
horrifying. Yeah. But yeah, the takeaway, right, like you said, is loved your or yeah, hug your loved ones, appreciate them, know it's uh, you know fragile, and then to keep paying it forward with like care and love of the people around you. And I'm so grateful for Mr. and Mrs. Beta, like for doing something that seemed so like something they did not need to do that. They could have sold that game. They could have turned it around. They could have bought something that really meant an awful lot to them. They could have bought, like they do dirt biking. They could have bought a brand new bike for that. And instead they handed it over for near to nothing. It's just like it completely like makes me feel grateful for, how kind and great people can be in this community. Because the retro game community is a very unique blend of very specific characters.
Yeah.
And they're almost all really great people. Very kind, a little neurotic, but all really great people. And you can see that if you go back and watch the Game Chasers. They're a very good insight into what this world actually feels like.
Yeah, I've never really met anybody who is a real douche.
No.
You know?
No, I don't. Not yet. Yeah. Yeah, they're all pretty great. Yeah, I mean, even back at Blue Sky, those last couple of years, I would just leave the Game Chasers streaming while I was working all the time on little TV in the treehouse.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's just a good thing to have on in the background. And then I don't know if you've watched the video game years that a group of them all made together.
Yeah.
The Game Chasers are in it as well, but I love having that in the background too because they just like go through all the different years of the 80s and talk about all the different games. It was streaming on Amazon, but I think it's off now. Yeah, I think you can just. I'm pretty sure you can just go to the video games years on YouTube or just search at Google and you can watch them all for free. That's definitely worth a listen to. It's really fun to get a little insight of what gaming was like through the perspective of people that's more our age, like 40s and 50s. So we were very young through it. So it's a little different feel than talking to the people that are maybe in their 60s and 70s that built those games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I just to plug something else that's important to us is Extra Life.
Yeah. Yeah, Extra Life once again this year. This is my 13th year doing it.
Oh man, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, 13th year, and I have so every year they give out medals for various amounts of for getting various amounts of donations. So like you get a bronze medal, I think, if you get $300 or something, and you get a silver if you get 500, and then if you get 1,000, you get gold. Every year I've gotten a gold.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you guys
So,
have raised a serious amount of money over the last 13 years. Like you definitely, if you're not already, you got to be into six figures.
Yeah, we're over 100,000.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
We're over 100,000.
And that just all ties this all together. It's supporting the Children's Miracle Network, which deals with helping kids that need assistance get the care and and the research behind getting those kids care as well. It's awesome.
Yeah. And we're this year for our countdown. I started a count. I do a countdown every year on Facebook, and this year it's a high score countdown. So what it is I post a game, and you get 2 quarters, or when I say quarters, I mean 3 lives basically.
Yeah, credits.
Two,
Yeah.
2 rounds to get a high score and post it. And so far, it's only been me and you.
I'm enjoying it though. It's a little motivation to play some games. So far, you've done Jackal, and you've
Mario
done
Brothers.
Mario Brothers. And by Mario Brothers, we mean the arcade version where Mario and Luigi can be on the same screen, and you're knocking over turtles and getting them. Hopefully, people know what we're talking about with that.
Yeah, the original. Original. And Castlevania.
Yeah, man. I've never been good at Castlevania.
Well, you still beat me.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Oh man, I love Jackal. That was a good playthrough. I've never played the game trying to like point push it, so I was like going out of my way to try to find every single enemy and kill them and try to make sure every troop gets into the helicopter. And I think my run was nearly flawless. I took a hit and spilled out a bunch of my troops on like the last level, and I was like, oh man, that's it. Now somebody's got a window to take it.
Yeah, it's there, but I don't think anybody's gonna do it. That's a hell of a run.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, because I mean, I beat the game, so I was like, right as the game finished, like I took a quick screenshot or took an iPhone picture of my screen because Jackal does not save your high scores. It's like you got to be ready to take that picture.
Yeah, I couldn't get it in time.
Yeah,
but
all right,
it doesn't matter. I only got like 30,000 anyway.
Yeah, what do you have a sneak preview for the listeners on any upcoming games you're going to choose?
I want to do Popeye.
Oh, I don't know anything about the strategy of that game.
Yeah, I want to do Popeye. I want to do the black box games.
Oh, that means you gotta work in pinball.
Oh yeah, pinball's definitely in here. I have a spreadsheet, and I have it randomized.
That's awesome.
But tomorrow is Rolling Thunder.
Oh man, that might be your first one you can take me at. I'm garbage.
Maybe.
All right, you ready to talk about some Silksong and some Bananza?
Well, first let's say what our next
Oh yes, Quantum Assurance Board. When we next convene, we will talk about Little Samson. I think it's very very apt. So let's play that game. I'll fire it up, and we have another good one because our last one was Panic Restaurant, which we both ended up loving, and that was done by Taito. This is another Taito special.
Yep.
So let's see how good it really is. Play it and see if it deserves the seal of approval.
Let's do it.
All right. So when we come back, we'll play a little music and we'll review Silksong and Nintendo's Donkey Kong Bonanza. All right, Pete, you want to do Donkey Kong first, or you want to go with Silksong?
I haven't beaten Donkey Kong yet, so I have very little to say.
Okay.
But there are things that I want to say. So, IGN gave it a 10 out of 10.
Whoa, I did not know that. That's crazy.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think there are some things that are problematic. They could be superficial things, but for me, one of the biggest gripes I have is the camera.
Oh no,
It's kind of all over the place,
man, that's so
and
key
there
to these 3D games.
and there's no way to reset it behind DK, and there's also no way to focus on enemies.
Oh really? I mean, that's a Nintendo special. They like coined that thing with with Ocarina of Time. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, no, that's it's missing, and this game needs it because the camera swings around a lot and it gets stuck behind walls and everything, and you can't see the enemies
Oh, that is so
sometimes.
frustrating.
And this is a huge gripe for me. It might sound superficial, it might sound stupid, like, oh, what are you complaining about? But it's 2025, right? Why should I sit through cutscenes every time I fight a boss?
There's no skip.
There's no skip. You can't
That's
skip the cutscene
ridiculous.
before you fight a boss. So every time you die, you have to watch the entire cutscene all over again.
That's frustrating, man. There is no reason for that. That is a major pet peeve of mine. Like, let me watch the cutscene once and never play it again.
Yeah.
Don't ever play a cutscene twice. Man, even I did that when I was doing Pete's Nightmare for you. I made sure when there was a cutscene, you only saw it once.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to sit there and watch the same thing over and over again.
You don't even want. You don't even make your player have to like smash through dialogue. Just skip.
Yeah.
That's annoying, man.
So there are a few other things that are annoying to me, but I'm not going to talk about them because they could be spoilery.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it. I haven't beaten it yet. I don't know how far I've gotten, and I don't know how many hours I've played.
Well, I mean, what is the crux of the gameplay?
The crux of the gameplay is like running around and punching things.
All right. I
And
mean,
searching for bananas. It's a lot of searching and a lot of
so what do you think made IGN give it a 10 out of 10?
I don't know. Like I really don't know.
I mean,
Like
there must be something with the gameplay that they really adored.
Well, I mean, Donkey Kong, like, you can control him in all kinds of cool ways. Like you can like hit the right trigger and he'll like rip up a piece of the earth, and then you can like throw it at stuff, or you could use that piece of earth and like surf on it, and like, stuff like that. It's like a lot of different things you can do with Donkey Kong.
All right, you tell me if you agree with this. So I pulled up IGN's review. So it says, so I hear you want a new 3D Mario. It means you're looking for a console-defining platformer with satisfying expressive movement, innovative mechanics that constantly grow and evolve, and expertly crafted challenges that unleash the interactive potential between said movement and mechanics. And I'm beyond thrilled to share that Donkey Kong Bonanza is all that and so much more. Bonanza is no mere side project from the team behind Super Mario Odyssey. It's a brilliant successor to that masterpiece, a tremendous reinvention for one of Nintendo's original mascots, and a groundbreaking adventure in every sense of the word.
I mean, it's a good game. I'm not gonna say it's a bad game because of these things, but I can't I can't get by the camera like that. That's one of those things that, like, you have to have the like ability to at least reset the camera.
Yeah. It's funny. This says Bonanza is one of the best 3D platformers they've ever played. Huh.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, keep
I'm
playing, and then
I'm
maybe check in.
I'm getting bored with it, to be honest with you.
That is something I've heard many players say. Is like the first 2-3 hours are great, and then it's like the mechanics of digging and breaking stuff starts to wear thin.
Yeah.
And that's the real reason why I haven't picked it up, because I'm like, well, I have Silksong sitting here. Like, I'm not really motivated to turn over to Donkey Kong when Silksong is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any last words on Donkey Kong?
I'd say pick it up. I'd say pick it up.
Well, certainly if you have a Switch too, right? Like, I mean, I guess what else are you gonna play?
Yeah, I mean, just go into it knowing these things.
Yeah.
You know.
So, from your limited playing of it, what would you rate it out of 10?
I'd say 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. That's not bad score. All right.
No, like I said, it's not a terrible game. It's just these things are annoying.
Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy. Let's move on to Silksong then.
All right.
So, Silksong is, if you're living under a rock, is the sequel to Hollow Knight. So it is Hollow Knight Silksong. It is the follow-up game from Team Cherry. Team Cherry's only 2 games are these 2 Hollow Knight games, and they are a small Australian scrappy team of like 3 or 4 people. And they make these incredible games so popular that, as we mentioned on the last episode, that on the day of release, it crashed every single video game storefront.
That's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, so it really is for such a small team to make a game this big. I can't even imagine the pressure on that small group of people to handle something so large. And man, this game is a masterpiece. I know you didn't play the original, right?
No, I didn't.
That game is also a masterpiece. It is everything you could possibly love about the Metroid franchise. I know they call them Metroidvanias, but aren't they just? Isn't it just Metroid? Whatever. But it takes that genre of the idea of your platforming, your side-scrolling, your combat, and you're basically locked out of this large open world by items, and you progress deeper into this world by unlocking some sort of ability or mechanic that then unlocks new areas of the game. And they just take this to a new level in this game. Just the creativity, the storytelling, the animation, the lighting, the effects, it's all everything that Hollow Knight was, just done in a even more beautiful and stunning way. The music is amazing. It's got these crazy, like, strange religious undertones. You see these pilgrims that are basically trying to get to this like mysterious place called the Citadel. And the story starts. You're a character that actually was in the original Hollow Knight game. This female character named Hornet. And so now you play as her, and you start the game and you're kidnapped. You're in this like cage. You manage to escape out of this cage, and now you want to find out why were those people taking you to this mysterious place called the Citadel. And you see these pilgrims that are all like trying to get to the Citadel also, and they're all like believing it's this like, again, a religious journey up there. So you're unlocking the mystery of why they're trying to get there, why they wanted you there. Why is this idea that you're a weaver of silk so special? You seem to be part of like an old group of silk weavers that have long since died off and no longer take place at the Citadel. And it's a lot of lore. You just get this sense that this world is so much bigger than what you're exposed to, and that is just amazing world building. again, I'm so impressed by a team so small to build a world that feels so rich. And the crux of the game basically is platforming and melee attack. And you're basically fighting your way through one of the most difficult games in this genre ever. It has, I think people refer to it as a Dark Souls mechanic in that when you die, you lose all your like money essentially, and you have to work your way back to your corpse to then recollect your items or your money. Should you fail and die before you return to your other corpse, you permanently lose all that money. So it is extremely punishing.
Wow.
And that same goes for the original Hollow Knight. Like that mechanic alone is very, very difficult. There is no really saving your money. There's like some mechanics they build in so that you can like somewhat save your money. Like you can bind them into these what they call rosary like beads. So those become locked and permanent. And then when you break them, they could become individual usable money, and they're susceptible then to being lost. I am telling you though, Pete, like this is brutally one of the hardest games I've ever had to play. Like I could not believe it. I would say this brings up a very good discussion on having games be accessible to a wider audience. Because like I think this is one of the most brilliant games I've ever played. I have a hard time recommending it to you though.
Yeah, because I get frustrated.
Yeah, but I mean, like I feel like I'm not too shabby at video games. Like I know what I'm doing, but I do think I'm in like a certain percentile of platformer players that can pull off some pretty good moves. And I know there's thousands of millions of other people that can do it too, but that still is the top percentage of players.
I know what
I
you're
think
saying.
the majority of people just can't get through this game. I promise you, they cannot get through this game.
You elitist bastard.
But the game is so beautiful, and it's fun to see the ending. And so, what do you do with a whole bunch of people? This was one of the most downloaded games. Crash all those storefronts. I guarantee you, the very vast majority of those players will never ever see half the game. Not the ending, but they won't even see half the game. And it like makes me think, like, you know, as a game developer, what do you do? Because this is like one of those old NES games, right? Where we always talk about how great it is that there's no hand holding, that, you know, when you beat it, it was a big topic. It was like a playground moment that you really beat this game and it meant something. And this game does have that. Like it means something if you're able to beat this game. But I don't know if that's worth sacrificing, having a whole large community not be able to enjoy the story and the art that you built.
Well, maybe they're banking on the fact that there's so many streamers now.
Yep. That's the big difference, right? Between now and back then is if you really do care about the game and seeing it, you can go on any sort of YouTube video or Twitch or wherever, and you can see the entirety of the game. That's a good point. I mean, that's to me, that's about the only counter. But there is nothing quite like doing it yourself. So if to me, that is its only knock, possibly, is that it just limits its access to a good amount of people. And I feel if I was Team Cherry, man, I would have a hard time not putting in some sort of difficulty scaler. Like, just it's funny. You got Nintendo on one hand, where their games feel like they're made for 4-year-olds, and I wish like hell that they would make a difficulty scale up. Like, I like Yoshi's Story and Yoshi's Crafted World. Those are cool games, but they're so painfully easy that I have a hard time ever really playing them all the way through because it's so boring.
Yeah.
But a game like this, I'm like, man, I wish there was a version where my daughter could play it. There's no world my daughter can play this. That stinks. You know, I found that, you know, another really good game that is like retro inspired and platforming is Celeste. And we've talked about Celeste endlessly on this podcast. But Celeste is one of those games where it does have a difficulty scale. It allows you to turn on this ability to triple jump, quadruple jump if you need to do it to be able to get through all this crazy hard challenges. And it's like, well, I wish there was that for this game too.
Maybe there will be.
Yeah.
Maybe they're working on it.
They've definitely done some patches to make some things easier. So I know they're aware of it. They know that it's maybe a little harder than they intended. Just to talk about more stuff about the actual game, it has this couple new features that are really cool that stand out against Hollow Knight, which is these crests. It's basically customizable loadouts, which is now in Hollow Knight you had all these different like keep this gear that you could swap in and out and like kind of customize how you worked. But this actually has like a whole bunch of different slots, and it changes the base mechanic of your weapon and how you somersault in the air. Like, do you dash down at a 45-degree angle, or do you bounce straight down and do a somersault? Or do you have like a weapon that has a short range attack but can attack really, really fast? And then from there, you can then expand those and add different weapons and different perks to like maybe collect more money, or have your map show you as a little icon so you get a compass. Little stuff that you can add, and all that makes the game feel super unique to each playthrough. Like, you get to really decide the creativity. Going back to 2 episodes ago when we were talking about Ninja Gaiden, the new one, Ragebound, where it just didn't allow for the creativity, this goes all the way, pushing you to be able to customize the game however you want, be as creative you want. Like, have fun with the game. You don't want to play the way, streamer XYZ is playing it, play it your way. Just find out what you find comfortable. And like, I basically found one crest that I was like, this feels good. And I just stuck with that the entire game. And, I saw a lot of reviews complaining about Hornet's 45-degree dash is so hard that it limits the game to so many people. It's like, do you want to talk about that? You don't even have to use that. Like, where's the review that says that you can just swap to a different crest and you never have to use that? So I feel like those reviews are, pretty crap, because they don't explain that the mechanics of that are completely void if you want it to be. To me, all this results in basically a game that I consider a 10 out of 10. Like, I know it's got its difficulty problems, and it's super punishing, and it does have some trolly moments. Oh man, this is not a spoiler. It doesn't matter whether I tell you or not, but there is a boss that just flash forward like 2 minutes if you really are scared of any spoiler. But there's a boss where it is crazy difficult. I'm talking, you are going to definitely dump a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours trying to beat this boss. When you do, you feel so good. You do what every single other person does when they beat a boss. You put down the controller, you take a huge exhale, and you scream some obscenities, and you're so damn happy that it's over. Well, in this one case, the enemy explodes and kills you if you do not move out of the way. And it is a large explosion, so you got to really get away. And that Team Cherry knew that. They knew it. And so they trolled you by making you play through the very hardest boss twice or more, because who knows if you got lucky on that one. But there's some great reviews online of watching some people get to that, and they're like glassy eyed and so tired from doing this, and they finally beat it, and they're screaming, "I did it! That's right! I beat you!" and the dawning on their face of what just happened when they actually respawn and they realize they just died is so good. It's so trolly in the worst possibly good way. I don't know. I was pissed when it happened to me, but it was funny as hell watching it happen to other people.
So how hard is it compared to like Cuphead?
Oh, way harder than Cuphead. Way harder than Cuphead.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. especially if you want to 100% it. But I'm telling you, some of those bosses, I Cuphead is hard, and you memorize the bosses and you do them, many many times over. It's just, to me, there are some of these bosses where I was like, really, this is like this is like a level of just lunacy. But it does force you to get super creative with all your loadouts. You have these extra like tools, like weapons, that are like your secondary weapons that you start to like. You're like, man, I cannot beat this guy, and you have to get creative. Oh, you know what I should point out? Take all this difficulty with a grain of salt, because I missed something very early in the game. There was one little hut that I just passed by, and this actually might be a design issue, if you ask me, because you should not have something so crucial to the game be able to be missed. Anyways, I missed this hut, and it's basically this NPC that strengthens your weapons. If you give them a certain item, they strengthen your weapon and makes it less hits to kill people. I did not find that person until the very, very, and I mean very last moment of the game. Like literally, I was about to go into the final boss, and I ended up just looking around and stumbled upon that hut and found it again, and then I started going back up to go fight the final boss, and I was like, oh my god, all these characters that were taking 8 to 10 hits are now taking 2 hits. It's like,
so
oh my god.
is it like compounded? Like, does it, like, can you go once and be like, here's a mouse, upgrade my sword, and then go back with another mouse and upgrade the sword again? Like, because is there like levels?
No, it's more like they sharpen. It's the whole mechanic is they're sharpening your needle or your sword, and so it's much more akin to like leveling up your attack in Zelda 2. It's like you're level 1, level 2, level 3, and by the time you're level 8, it's like everything dies with one hit.
Okay, so you do level up.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't necessarily like call it levels, but yes, essentially, if you have the right items, give it to that person, you're leveling up your sword, and it is permanent. And God, why did I have to miss that guy? Because it makes me wonder how much time I wasted, and then it also makes me feel like a little pat on the back that I was like, wow, I beat all those guys with a level 1 attack. Like, come on, that's pretty good. So, but such a great game. Just don't do that. Whatever you do, make sure you find that NPC and level up your needle. I knew it must be in the game because there was one in the first Hollow Knight, but I never had a problem with finding that person. I mean, there's several of them, or I guess one main guy. Anyways, it's so easy to find that in Hollow Knight. It's just like I was expecting, just like, oh, I'll eventually run into this person. And when I finally made it to the final boss, I was like, okay, I missed something. Like, I definitely should have run into this person by now. All right, man. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Like, this goes right up to one of the best. And to me, this is a redefinition of the Metroidvania franchise. It's certainly a great addition. Like, Hollow Knight is also 10 out of 10. And I might prefer the original Hollow Knight just because I feel like I can play through it with a sense of relaxation, where this game is just intense. It's so intense, and playing through it again, I know I'm just going to get frustrated. But I don't know. Maybe now, knowing that I can upgrade my weapon, maybe it's worth playing through again in a couple of years. It's like, it might be fun. I will also say there's a good ending and a bad ending, and I have not finished the good ending yet. So I'm actually still playing through the game. And oh my God, I just was playing it 2 hours ago, and I found a whole area of the map I hadn't even been to. I was like, what the heck is this? Holy crap. Like, I thought I had finished the map, and I literally went to a brand new place. It's like, how did I miss this? So the game's huge. Game is huge.
It's more to play.
More to play. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm like approaching 50 hours. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's the most I've played any game in a long time.
I wonder how many hours I played Donkey Kong. I think I'm a third through the game.
Oh wow!
Not a third, two thirds. No, 2/3 through. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it feels like.
Well, I'll see if I can load that up. But in the meantime, we're going to play some Little Samson.
Yep.
All right, Petey. Do you want to say any last words about these games? Or are you ready to move on to the next episode?
Let's move on. I'm thinking that there is no reason to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
Extra Life is November 8th this year. Saturday, November 8th.
Yeah, man. Please donate. Did you even plug what your team name is?
My team name is Nest Quest, as it's been for the past 13 years.
Yeah, man.
And I stream usually I stream once a year, and that's the only time I ever stream.
Are you thinking about streaming it? I know last year you kind of pulled the plug on it and just said it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, this year might be a little different because my son might not be there.
Oh no, I was going to ask you about that. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that's got to be actually quite emotional because he's been there for every single one.
Yep.
Oh man.
So,
well,
yeah.
maybe this year I can make an appearance and I can fill a little bit of that teeny tiny void for you.
That'd be
tiny
awesome.
Percentage of it, I mean. That would be great. I did it I think I did it like 3 years at your house and then another 3 from my house. And then 2020 happened and I haven't done it since, but I always enjoyed it. That's for sure.
Yep.
All right, Pete. Well, let's reconvene as the Quantum Assurance Board next episode and talk about Little Samson. But in the meantime, thanks for everybody for taking a listen to us, and we certainly appreciate it. And you can always email us at acouplemoreminutes@gmail.com if you want to correspond and tell us your reviews, how you thought about Silksong or Bananza, and certainly read your reviews if you got anything to say.
Yep.
All right. Well, this has been A Couple More Minutes, where 2 veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that, animation video games. Thanks for joining me as always, Pete.
Yep. Take it easy, buddy.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.